Hi, 7th and 8th grade. This video is for Friday, April 17th. Hope you guys are hanging in there and woo, we made it to Friday. For today, you have 3 assignments. All of them are in your large packet. The first is to do a character comparison between Josh, who's our main character, and his brother Jordan. And so what you're going to do, they've picked one for you, which is appearance. And you're going to put 3 other ways in which you can compare them based on what you've read so far. So this would be, well, I'll leave it up to you to put what you like, but you could talk about things they like or don't like, any information that you've gotten about them so far. And then anything that's the same about their appearance or their what, you can write that like in small letters kind of around that. And then things that are only true about Josh, put over here, and things that are only true about Jordan, you'll put over here. So it's kind of like a modified version of the Venn diagram with the circles. It doesn't have to be perfect, but do your best. And I do want to see that you have the 4 different areas and then the 2 here. The next thing you're going to do is go on a simile search. And remember that we talked about similes in our Zoom call this week. Similes are comparisons that use like or as. So they give you an example here on page 27 where Josh describes himself as sneaky and silky as a snake. So what you're going to do is look on other pages or also page 27 if you want, and give examples of other similes you find in the story up to page 40. And then the final thing you're going to do today is write another poem. And you'll notice as we go through this unit that we're going to be doing a lot of poetry writing. So I know that that's a new genre, a new kind of writing for some of you, but it should be fun. Poetry is a way of playing with words. And again, this kind of poetry that we're doing, it's not Dr. Seuss. It doesn't have to have a perfect rhyme scheme. It's more about being creative in how you're expressing yourself and trying when you impose different kinds of limits with it. So if it can only have similes or only have metaphors, if it has to appear in different sort of patterns. So today the pattern that you're going to use is stanzas. There's a poem on page 33 of the book called Ode to My Hair. If my hair were a tree, I'd climb it. I'd kneel down beneath and enshrine it. I'd treat it like gold and then mine it. Each day before school, I'd unwind it. And right before games, I entwine it. These locks on my head, I designed it. And one last thing, if you don't mind it, that bet you just made, I decline it. So I love that. Now you'll notice his does rhyme, and there's a pattern. We hear that ein sound it at the end of the second line of every stanza. Your poem can do that, but it doesn't have to. I think that it's interesting, and if you can find a way to sort of keep that going, that would be awesome. But what I do want to see, and if you'll see the directions in your packet, the page looks like this. You're going to write an ode to poem about something that is important to your identity. So an ode to my blanket, or an ode to my journal, or an ode to, I don't know, you'll have to fill in with something that is important to you, something that is essential, something that you could write at least a few stanzas about. And then what you're going to do is do that same thing with just the 2-line stanzas about that thing, telling about why it's important, but being creative with the language that you use. That's the poetry part. So I'm not so interested in, did you get the verb tense right? Did you capitalize? But what I'm more interested in is, can you sort of use this format and play with the words that you know to talk about something that's important to you. So if you have a question about that, you're not sure, I'm here. I'm happy to talk on email or do like a Google chat or a one-on-one Zoom. And then you'll notice that today, and some of you, I'm still missing quite a bit of work. So what I'd love for you to do is you go in Google Classroom. The main part where all the assignments are is the stream. But if you click on classwork, you'll see that all of your assignments are in there. This is the week of April 13th. So In particular, look at those, the assignments that are due for this week, all the ones that say week of April 13th. And if you can send those in, I would love to look them over this weekend and give you guys some feedback. Okay? There's a post in there for today that has you sending in pictures of some of the sheets from the packet so I can look those over. Hang in there, guys. Talk to you soon.